Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Jobless Weebs, number 114. Yeah! Surprise, surprise, and celebration. I'm Brian, of course, and with me today...
Marco, the Vivo Mexican.
Yeah!
How are you, Brian?
I'm doing really good. I got some good news earlier today, not a couple hours ago, and man, I'm doing just really great.
Always good to know.
Yeah. And then, let's see. Oh, I romanced Shadowheart. I got her. I got her whole cutscenes, I guess you could say. So yeah.
Are you that far already, man? I'm just starting to get to know her better.
Oh, okay. Yes. So it happens. So I'm in Act 3. And I'm seeing a lot of the like Baldur's Gate type stuff already. So you can get Shadowheart. I think if you go to camp a couple times right when you get to the third act, you can definitely trigger it pretty easily. Well, of course, as long as you have the previous romances done. Steps with her. So yeah, it's pretty easy getting her last one.
I hope to get it because I've been going back to camp and I've been getting freaking updates from Liso and I'm like, I don't care about you guys. You guys could go and die for like her.
I'm actually I gotta say surprised that you didn't offer in your solo play beforehand. but I do think you like her battle fortitude and her
overall character. I like her
attacks. Yeah, she does have strong attacks.
Yeah, I haven't had much time to play. I've been busy with the Beat Saber, which I try to finish like 2 maps a week.
Okay, there you go. Pretty impressive as always.
Yeah, I've been managing to take around like 2 to 3 hours now, so I've been reducing the time even more.
Wow.
It helps
I remember
that I'm not doing it from scratch.
Oh yes.
As far as the block goes.
Uh-huh.
And since I'm using an AI, it's like it just speeds things up a little more.
Oh, for sure.
Sometimes the song sounds a little funky, or the blocks.
Oh,
rather.
Right.
But it's like, you get used to it. And yeah, as far as some other personal projects that I was only doing on Friday, I started doing it Monday and Tuesday as well.
Okay.
No, sorry. Tuesday and Wednesday.
Okay.
And so I've been working on the Beat Saber maps Monday and Thursday.
Oh, gotcha.
I was looking at my schedule and I need to speed things up on that personal project because it's time sensitive. So I was like, Friday it's not enough.
Right after Christmas, right?
Yeah, right after Christmas.
That's gonna be crazy. Oh my gosh.
So I was like, no, I gotta take 2 more days to get those things done. Hopefully, and I just don't want it to come to like, I might need to do it also on Saturday or Sunday because I'm like, no.
Yeah, you would rather prevent that from happening than buckling down like having to do Saturday. Gotcha. That's a good idea. It's just exhausting. Yeah, no. Yeah.
It's like, right now I'm just feel so exhausted mentally that I'm like,
oh no.
Maybe next week I'll take a day off from work.
There you go.
Just for relaxation. I might not go anywhere. Just
just relax.
I think I do need some decent sleep. Because I'm always like, okay, I still have like 6.5 hours to sleep. And I'm like, no, Piori. That's what I mean, I'm not saying that anime takes my sleep away, anime is actually the thing that makes me have some more sleep, because
right.
as you can see my setup.
Oh yes, yeah, I noticed. Yeah. Just a great place to watch while in
It's
bed.
my new setup where I
It's
just
so
put my cell
funny.
phone there, like I just
Yeah,
lay
Lie
down on my bed, and I just
that's
put an anime
genius.
to fall asleep, and it
And
works. It looks
oh,
stupid, but it works.
Oh, I bet it does. And like, and all you have to do is maybe like turn on the next episode, but you can literally like truly relax without worrying about like missing any episodes since you've seen those a lot.
Yeah,
but you
those
can
are the
just
animes that I haven't
take it
repeated. And
easy.
normally, I
Yeah.
would have them like on my nightstand. The cell phone would be tilted, but I would be on my side,
right.
and I would fall asleep sometimes. But it's really uncomfortable for me to sleep on my side.
You're normally a back sleeper.
Yeah,
I
sleep like a mummy.
Yep.
Or a vampire.
Oh yes, yeah. I like going all the way back and on my back.
But yeah, that setup.
Yeah, that's
it's been proving
great.
to be really nice, because I just pump myself up with some melatonin gummies and just put the cell phone there and
Yep, that's good. That's good.
I do. Wow. I do need to have more discipline on my sleeping schedule, because sometimes I go to sleep because I'm playing or because I'm doing some adult stuff.
Yeah, so right.
Either way, I need my sleep.
That's right. That's good. That's good.
But oh boy, what are we talking about today, Brian?
Yes, for today we have a pretty great anime. It's one of the, I guess, like one of the greats because it's Studio Ghibli. Yeah, we'll be talking about,
AKA the Japanese Disney.
Basically, yeah. Yep. Oh, it's insane. And Ghibli has like all sorts of basically household anime names that like everybody knows, like Princess Mononoke, House of Moon Castle, Spirited Away. It's like, oh man, like these are like ones everybody knows. Yeah,
My Neighbor Totoro. Is it?
Yeah, My Neighbor Totoro.
Yeah.
Today I want to talk about the Secret World of Arrietty, and this one I think is maybe not as well known, but it's fantastic. It's a good one.
Yeah, it's from 2010, I believe, right?
Yep, it came out 2010. It is an adaptation from an English book.
Yes,
called The Borrowers. Yeah,
back from 1952.
Yeah.
Man,
isn't that crazy?
My parents weren't even born yet.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it. Oh my gosh, yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's a series of 5 books.
Okay, yes, that's right.
That follows Arriertty and her family as well, and
that's right.
It's a children's book. Can you believe that? And I was doing some research on it. And freaking books are thick. You're like 300 to 600 pages, and I'm like, how is that a kid's book? Is like, I mean,
I know, right?
Kids back in the day, they would read books, and they were like, like the ABCs. That's
right.
Like that's for rookies. Like, give me the freaking encyclopedia, and I'll read it.
Oh my gosh. Dang, times have changed. But I think I want to say I read The Borrowers when I was younger. At least the first book. I don't remember really reading like a second or any of the others, but I'm pretty sure I read it because I remember, like going through the whole thing of who the Borrows are, what they're like, and just like their days. And it's incredible. It's a great story. And the funny thing is, all the families have very specific names of where they live in the house.
Oh,
It's really silly. This anime is an adaptation of that. Did you look at like how it relates or how closely any of the stories were? I unfortunately didn't get that far since I read it like when I was much younger.
right. I
Yeah.
think that again, it's five
Area,
books, and they do have
yeah.
continuity. I
Yes.
always struggle with that freaking
Oh
word.
yeah, yeah. Continuity. Yeah, it's a weird word. Okay, yeah,
Yeah, but
it definitely has
yeah,
Arietta for sure,
yeah,
and the boy, and of course
yeah,
her,
Spiller,
and yeah, he's there.
Arrietty's parents,
Mm-hmm.
Pod, and I forgot the
Pod
mom's
and
name.
Homily.
Homily, yes.
Mm-hmm. And so the anime,
The one that I would say it's a little different would be
yeah,
the humans.
yeah,
The
Haru.
humans are
Uh-huh.
I would say different. The thing is that
Okay.
Harrietty in the books, she
Yeah,
is this adventurous 14-year-old girl
yeah.
that she has a fascination with humans,
Yes,
and
that's it.
she is always inclined to interact with them,
Yeah.
which is a big no-no
Right, for the
for the
borrowers.
borrowers.
Uh-huh. Hmm.
And you know, the as far as the books go, the story develops a lot around her interacting with humans.
Oh yes, oh yes. So it's a lot of
Because if
like,
she wouldn't, the probably
mm,
the book wouldn't exist, or
yeah,
would be a lot more shorter.
yeah. Very true, very true.
And the thing with the movie, it's
Right.
it's a really open-ended story,
Yeah.
which it's it takes place in 1 week,
Yep.
because at the beginning of the movie
Yeah. The
we have the
boy.
kid
Hmm.
show saying like, oh, I remember that 1 week I went back
Hmm.
to uh
To my aunt's place,
yeah,
and
to the
it
house
like
where my
forever
mother
changed
grew
me.
up,
Hmm.
and yeah, and then it kind of like it goes from there. But
Yeah.
yeah, Arrietty is this adventurous girl who
Hmm.
loves to interact with humans. uh Her father, Pod, he is also adventurous,
Hmm.
but he's really conservative in a way of
Yeah.
like, we don't interact with humans. Humans should not know about us.
Yep.
And the mom, it's well, she's really
Ah.
reserved, and
Oh yes. Yeah.
yeah, the
Very
less
reserved.
she knows about humans for X or Y reason, the better.
That's right.
And also, we are introduced to one more borrower
Hmm.
during the movie. His name is Spiller.
Yeah.
He's more like a nomadic
Yeah.
type of
Nomad.
borrower.
Hmm.
But as far as the book goes, I believe the brother of Arrietty's mother makes an appearance with his family. Because like they did
Ah,
mention
they
him.
mentioned him in
They're
the
like,
movie.
oh, I
Yeah,
hope that my brother is alive, and so
that's
the brother is alive,
right.
and he
Yeah.
appears in the books along with his family. And there's one more borrower
Hmm.
that it's sort of kind of like an artist, and he
Okay.
might be a potential love interest for Arrietty, but
Okay.
they didn't emphasize that a lot, because for
All
starters,
right.
it's a children's
It's a.
book.
That's right.
So
Yeah. Mhm.
and also it's the 50s or the 60s,
Mm.
so at the same time
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, back at that time, that wasn't heard of.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a fantastic setting, a really unique, and you just get drawn into it because it's just so fantastic. And so yeah, it sounds like there's definitely a lot of similarities. The adaptation, the name of it in Japanese is Karigurashi no Arrietty, or I guess a literal translation could be Arrietty the borrower. for the North America title, it's The Secret World of Arriertty, which is really sad because it's freaking the Borrowers. It should have kept that name. Oh well.
Yeah,
Whatever.
like Secret World or
It's like
Arriertty.
what? Are we
Doesn't
not
have a
cultured
drawn
enough?
to it.
Yeah.
Because like Borrower Arrierty, like okay, that sounds exciting. That sounds it draws you in. It's like the
And you
secret
instantly
world
know.
of Arrierty. It's like, oh, what's happening here?
Right. Yeah.
So something that
true.
which
Just
kind of
more
like in a way I see it
mysteriousness.
because the Borrowers were supposed to be hidden from the humans, kind of like leaving secrecy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know. I just get.
Yeah.
I'm with you there. It's like the wording of the movie is like Borrower sounds way more cool.
Yeah, much more specific. And so let's jump in. So it is a little bit different from some of the other Ghibli movies. But of course, Ghibli has that certain touch of like mystery and exploration. So in this particular movie, once again, that boy, we are introduced to him. He's going off with his aunt in a car to his mom's childhood house. So they go there, and we learn a little bit about the boy, not a whole lot. He is kind of like going along with on the ride so far. So they arrive. His aunt's Haru's car is parked blocking the driveway, and so the aunt goes out and goes into the house. The boy comes out and he sees a cat looking at a bush and then gets attacked by a crow, which is so weird. And it's interesting because Ghibli, the movies always bring in like natural elements and natural, or I guess you could say like nature characters. So the cat and the crow are pretty important, or at least the cat is. So the cat kind of like goes away after that, and he looks and he sees a small figure going down the bush, and like he loses track of it after that. It's like, whoa, what's going on? It's a little person, but like nothing really happens. He just like goes away after that. It goes inside, and we follow the little girl, and she is like just about like that size.
Yeah, I would
like
say
even
probably
smaller.
Even the figurines might be even
bigger than her. Yeah, let's see here. Maybe. Oh man. Yeah, I would say she's smaller than most every figurine you have. Oh, maybe
the size of Soika's
yes.
size. Yeah, I would say
maybe about that size. Yeah,
I would say sounds about right.
Like fits right into the palm of your hand. Oh, it's crazy. So it's so funny. She has leaves, and they're they're huge compared to her. Leaves. She's carrying them. Crickets surround her, and she's like, "No, these are for you." It's so funny. Describing a little bit more about what's happening, she goes through a grate on the bottom of the house. So she's literally underneath the house, and she's scampering along. She climbs up, and she like goes through some housing structure, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Foundation and whatnot. And then she comes into this house, and it's apparently her home. And it's really small. Oh, this is so great. I just love this idea. So the borrowers, and we're introduced to her family, and the borrowers are literally little people that live in your house undetected because they're so small, but they borrow from the big human beings to use for their own purposes.
Or at least that's
Ah.
their definition.
Oh yes, yes. That's
Because
the
like
definition.
this
Right.
movie
They're
is just like a
borrowers.
big misunderstanding
The whole movie,
like,
literally,
from
yeah.
both parties, and both parties
Yeah.
meaning humans and borrowers. Because
Yes.
these borrowers
Yeah.
throughout the movie, because we're learning. Arriertty has some interaction with her mom.
Yep.
And then she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go. Today's my first borrowing mission
Yes.
with my dad.
Yeah.
We're gonna go." And the mom says like, "Hey, get some sugar, get some tissue."
Mm-hmm,
And throughout the movie, it is being explained to us that these little people are borrowers.
yeah.
They borrow what humans don't need,
Yeah.
or what they think they don't need. So like,
or
yeah.
I won't notice gone.
Yeah.
Or missing.
So it's like,
Uh-huh.
one tissue is like, you probably won't
Yeah.
notice it's gone. It's like,
Yeah, not at all.
like a cube of sugar, yeah, you probably wouldn't notice it's gone.
Mhm.
But the thing is that they use electricity. They use all the
Yeah.
necessities for a person,
Right.
just of
In
a much
miniature.
smaller size.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they grab all of this stuff.
Mhm.
And during the first mission, they go to the kitchen, they grab
Yep.
the sugar. You know that the dad eats these
Yeah.
kind of like makeshift climbing devices made
Yep, with,
of like scotch or like
it
double-sided tape.
Yeah, double-sided tape. It seemed to me like double-sided poster tape even. And yeah, it's incredible. He uses it with all four limbs to climb up. He uses a fishing hook as a grappling hook.
Yeah.
It's so incredible. I do want to mention when she looks out onto the kitchen for the first time, it's vast. Everything is like emphasized to
Yeah.
be big,
Even the sounds,
echoey.
if you
Yeah,
notice.
even the sounds, right?
Because after
Uh-huh.
they grab the sugar, they're like, "Oh, let's go for the tissue."
Right.
And she finds the pin, which it's
Ooh,
like
yeah.
sword.
Yeah.
But after that, like how they go across the dollhouse, and you can hear the
the ticking.
the ticking of the clock,
Uh-huh.
like, and like it's
loud.
It's a lot louder.
Yeah.
Which that is one of the things that I liked, and at the same time a bit of a complaint.
Ah, really?
Because they emphasize all these background noises,
Uh-huh.
but talking with a human, that would have been horrible.
It would have been deafening. Yeah, I agree. I actually did notice also when they spoke, we never really hear it from the perspective of a human. And yeah, it would sound very tinny or very light going from them to a human. I did notice that.
But at the same time, it's like it's from a children's book, and it's for the general audience.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
all those complaints of like, oh, it's physically impossible, it's like, shut up.
Right.
Because it's like that's not the point of the movie, okay?
Yeah. And they gotta communicate and whatnot, and right, yeah. But no, I totally agree. Yeah, like our sounds would be deafening to them. They would be hardly like. They would be like the squeaking of very light squeaking to our ears.
Like mosquitoes or flies.
Yeah.
Would something really, really like. It's like
yeah. Where'd they come from? That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, everything else seemed to work. I think the water droplets in liquid, incredible. When they were pouring stuff or rain, even it like collected, and it was literally water droplets like this big on them. Oh, I
Yeah,
thought
and
that
they
was
could just
incredible.
grab it, or-
Oh, yeah, they could just grab it. And like the tea was literally a droplet. For, oh man, it was so great. And yeah, for their teacups. Oh, it was so funny.
The borrowers do have some
Oh,
rules.
yes. Right.
Rule number 1: don't
Yep.
grab anything that they might notice gone.
Exactly.
And we know that when they are, just looking at the dollhouse, which is interesting. The dollhouse is interesting. I want to talk about when we go further. And the second thing, again, like we've said again, don't let yourself be, caught by humans.
Don't be seen. Don't be noticed.
Which, one of the things that I've noticed on a lot of Ghibli movies is you can know who the bad guy is because they look ugly. Like the character design is ugly.
Oh yes. I know what you mean. Yeah, right. That's funny. Yes,
and
that's so true. Any of their movies.
And the thing is that as they are, trying to grab the tissue paper.
Yeah. So the dad, he's on this side. Yeah, she looks over.
And the kid show is like.
The eyes, man, the eyes. Oh my gosh. So she freaks out. She literally sees
he's like, don't be afraid. It is like,
right? And it's like, no
imagine
way,
that
crap,
freaking Godzilla tells you, don't be afraid. You're like, of course I'm gonna crap my pants.
Ooh, yeah. When you're this big, and yeah. So and to the borrower's credit, they keep cool. Well, of course, she's like, heart pounding, and she's like super like, oh no, like she like slowly goes down. They definitely kept their cool. And the dad, he like looks at her questioningly. She like, I think she nods, and like they start going. But yeah, he's like, he's not going to be persuaded or like, oh, was that my imagination? He's like, it was you, wasn't it? I saw you in the earlier in the yard.
And then he says like, my mom told me about you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
She told me about little people when she was a kid.
Because she saw them too.
He was like,
yep. It's like, oh my freak.
Okay.
Yep.
Because like they go back, they're like, hey, we better tell nothing to your mom.
Yeah.
And they go back and they're like, we didn't have good luck, so
yeah, no sugar.
So, dang it.
Yep.
So next day or the next scene, it's raining pretty hard. Arriertty is playing with a roly-poly.
So cute.
And then she hears a sound, like, again, this magnifying sound of steps.
Oh, yeah.
Like getting close to the grate.
Yep.
And
you see the legs.
Yeah. And like a piece of paper and leaving a sugar cube there. And he leaves. And she's like, okay.
Right.
And she sees that she's sugar. And she tells like the family, like, oh, like the sugar is here.
Or that he left it for her, and they're like, no, like, don't even take it. Like, it's a trap. Leave it alone. Don't do anything with this guy. She kind of listens. She's a teenager.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's like a tiny teenager or a regular sized teenager.
Right. Right. Yeah. She gets involved. So she takes, well, when she goes back to the sugar cube, it's still there, but ants have basically taken it apart, and like there's half of it left. And she takes it, she picks up the note, and all it says is, you forgot something. So it's interesting though, because here this detail is kind of interesting where well, yeah, I'm not sure how he knew that if he just left it at the grate that she would find it, but I'm guessing it works because he saw her in the yard and upstairs, so maybe he figured out like
I'm
they'll
guessing that
see.
he also saw the cat, because like after
Oh,
at the
going
beginning,
to the grate.
the
That's
cat
true.
started
The cat.
chasing, and
Uh-huh. Okay, that's a good
he hit its
point.
head on the grate.
Yeah.
So
That's right. Good point. Oh man.
I mean, he has really good observational skills,
Yeah,
because
that's true.
later on, because this thing happens, and now Arrietty's family is forced to move away, because
Yes.
they're like, no, we've been seen, we need to leave, because
Yep.
the last people who were seen in here, who
Oh,
were living on
yeah.
this house,
They disappeared.
or they straight up move away.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Never
okay,
seen
why did it
again.
disappear?
Right.
And so Arrietty goes to confront him, to tell us like, hey,
like,
what's your problem, dude?
Yeah, leave me alone.
And he's like, hey, I'm kind of like, I just want to be friends. And she's like, I'm not gonna fall for those.
All humans are dangerous.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that the borrowers, I noticed in the US adaptation, the English voice for the US, they did say bean, and that's because in the books, the borrowers called the big humans human beings. Which is so silly. Human beings.
B-E-A-N?
Yeah, B-E-A-N instead of beings. So yeah, it's so silly. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's another thing I wanted to mention. For the adaptations and the translations, there's of course the Japanese original. There's the U.S. adaptation, English speaking, but there's also an English speaking UK adaptation, and that has Tom Holland's voice for show.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's Tom Holland.
Me?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, for real. It blew my mind when I found out about that. So yeah, any Tom Holland fans, let everybody know. So yeah, it's so funny.
I want to go, Mr. Mrs. Arriertty.
No.
Man, that's
yeah, it's so silly. Yeah, I gave it a try, and like he pitches his voice deep, I think, but it's a fun watch. It's pretty interesting.
Man, I mean,
yeah. So like, interesting tidbit. But yeah, at this particular part, she's like, leave us alone. But yeah, so it's this threat of the boy getting a little bit too close. He knows they're there, and her family needing to move away. She isn't really told outright until she asks. She's like, we're moving away, aren't we? And they're like, yeah, we are.
Yeah.
And
because like she makes this weird emotional connection with Show.
Yeah.
And I say weird because it seems like they're fighting at the beginning. Like they're arguing. And Show is genuinely curious as to why do they have to move.
Yeah.
Because they're like, hey, like, it's not a big deal. I saw you, but I was like, hey, I'm chill. I was like, we don't need that stuff. Like, yeah, grab as much as you want. And like, no big deal.
Right.
And she's like, no, those are the rules, because that's how we survive. And then Show can, like, hits a nerve. It's like, how many of you are there? You're probably extinct. And it's like,
yep.
And Arriertty goes defensive. He's like, no, we're not. There's more. My dad, because I don't know if this happens before or after, but during one of their exchange.
Oh.
When Spiller.
After Spiller came and talked with them.
Yeah, she's like,
and saved the dad.
Like, there's one more, so I'm pretty sure there's more people of us. And he's like, well, you guys are gonna die.
Yeah, you're a doomed dying species.
And he's like, it's fine. It happens. It's like a lot of a lot of species have gone
yeah.
extinct.
Mhm,
And she's
mhm.
like, oh no, you're like, that's nonsense.
Right.
It's like, you're lying. We're gonna survive because.
That's what
And
we do.
he's
We're
like,
borrowers.
right, yes. I'm sorry. I'm the one who's gonna die. I have a heart condition, and the success rate it's not very good.
And she's like, oh, when's your operation? He's like, oh, very soon, like less than a week, basically, a couple days. So yeah, I guess it is kind of a weird, like, that is a weird relationship.
Yeah,
You can
but
sum it
again,
up.
coming back now to the misunderstanding part
Ah,
and the
yes.
dollhouse,
Oh yes,
the
because
aunt
he
comes
thinks, yep.
and says like, "Hey, look, we have this beautiful dollhouse." My dad or my granddad, I believe she said.
I think she said her dad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like
something like that.
my dad.
Yeah.
One of those. But she tried to say that
Yeah.
her dad had seen one of those little people once, so he had a dollhouse custom made for them.
Yep.
Custom made
Like real
everything.
An
Furniture,
oven that
the
actually
kitchen.
could work.
Yeah, the oven actually worked.
Yeah.
Like all the rooms,
Yeah.
all the dressers. And it was like,
Library.
yeah, he built it in hopes that they would come and live here.
Yeah, and move in basically.
He never saw them again.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, and nobody else has seen them, which implies that the mom saw them and she also didn't tell anyone, but she only
she told Show.
And then Show is like, I don't know where they are.
Yeah, he also
because you also have Haru, the maid, and she's like, have you seen little people?
Oh boy.
And God knows what she wanted to do with the little people, but I'm pretty sure that it was nothing good.
Oh no.
Because that was a big misunderstanding, and probably why the borrowers had that rule of like, the moment the humans see us, that's when we get the heck away.
Get the heck out of there. Yep, move and Show maybe thanks to this interaction, he has this bright idea of, like, hey, maybe this is his reasoning, I'm not sure, but he may have thought to himself, hey, this might be a good idea to like give this to the borrowers.
Yeah, kind of like to let them know, like, hey, I want you living here.
I'm on your side. Yeah, exactly.
Which, it wasn't appreciated like that.
That's right.
So it was one time where Arriertty was helping her dad. Mm-hmm. The mom was in the kitchen, and suddenly it felt like a freaking earthquake.
Yeah.
Then the roof started to lift, and Arrierty's mom is freaking out. She's like, yeah. And then you see like a big hand, how the big hand grabs the old kitchen.
Wall. Yep.
Puts it away somewhere there, and she's like, and she's trying to escape, and the dude just like blocks
the couch.
Puts the new kitchen from the dollhouse. And then puts back again, the roof.
Yeah.
And before the mom is about to faint, he catches her and puts like a brand new sofa there.
Yep.
And she's there. He's like, "Oh, it's beautiful." And,
yep.
And that was his act of saying, like,
"Oh yeah,
hey, why don't you stay here?"
Right. Like, I'm on your side. Like, these are nice things made just for you guys.
Because it was for them. It was meant for them.
That's right. Yeah. But as you said, misunderstandings on all sides. Oh boy. So yeah, now he literally tore their house apart. They are not safe in their minds anymore. So they decide, they're going to leave. Last straw. This is it. So they basically start packing everything. Arrierty, she's, I'm not quite sure, but she's kind of like resigned to this. Yes, I think around then is when they have like the confrontation, and then Haru, all throughout this, she kind of keeps tabs and has an eye on Sho, so she kind of like is suspecting him, and she has this bright idea of like looking a little bit deeper into the closet because she finds one of the
fancy teacups.
fancy one of the kitchen stuff, and she's like, "Oh, this is from the dollhouse," and she's like eyeing Sho. It's like, oh man, she's definitely the villain. Because what does she do? She locks Sho into his room.
Yeah.
And I was like, no freaking way. Yeah.
He's like, I'm pretty sure
That
that's
was
illegal.
crazy. I know, right? Yeah. Like, locking a kid in
He's like,
the room.
especially if that's not your kid, that
Ooh,
could be
yeah.
considered kidnapping or something.
It could. Confinement and all the above. Oh my gosh. I was like,
But
no
yeah, like
freaking
she
way.
locks him. She goes back to the stairs.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, this looks weird.
Uh-huh.
Let's open it." And she
it.
sees
Oh my
like part
gosh.
of the
Yeah.
new kitchen. She's like,
Mhm.
"Hey, that's the new kitchen." And so she
the
takes again
dollhouse, yeah.
the roof
Yep.
of this house, and you know the mom is
Dude.
drinking her tea, and she's like,
right.
and like she's
freaks
also like
out.
again to run away, but
Yeah.
no, like Haru puts the hand, she catches her, she puts her in a jar, like with like a plastic cover with some holes, like like a freaking beetle,
right?
And she like
and hides
puts it in the pantry, and she's like, "Hey, exterminators!" yeah.
I want to be a freaking villain to terrorize some kid, so please come over.
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, please come." Hey,
I want to be a murderer.
He's like, and I actually don't want you to exterminate them. Can you just catch them? And he's like,
yes. And they're not
what is
mice.
wrong with you? It's like, yeah, they're not mice. They're little people. It's like, okay, lady. Yeah, we will be there soon.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, she's literally.
Arrierty hears her mom. Her mom scream. She tries, to tell her that. Oh no! That was the first one. She goes alone. She sees that her mom is missing.
Yes,
yeah. So she decides to go to the second floor of the house.
Yeah.
And she almost gets eaten by a freaking crow.
Yeah, crow. And
no, that was another time.
Oh no, sorry, yeah, no, she just goes up. She gets
the crow was
attention.
Before.
That's right.
We didn't mention it because it's part of it.
There are a lot of details. But yes, this is when she goes up. She like gets Sho to help her. She says that the mom is missing, and she thinks that a human took her. So Sho is like, yeah, I'll help you. So Arrierty goes on his shoulder, and then he tries opening the lock, and this is when it's like, things are like escalating. It's not opening. So great thinking, he goes out the window. And thankfully nothing bad happens. Seriously, like kids going under roofs. Like in a movie, I always think, oh man, like, what's gonna happen? Oh geez. Thankfully, fingers crossed. Like, don't try this at home. He goes across the roof to the next window. Arrierty, she goes in and unlocks it. I think it's amazing that there are always ways for the little people to go around this house. Like, it's amazing. Like, there's always like a hole or a crevice they can go through. She goes through like a loose corner from the boarded up window. or section of the window. She goes in, unlocks it. They go through, and then I think this was a funny part. He goes to the kitchen area. Oh well, they know they're about to be caught, so he like puts Arriertty down, but then he like turns around and Haru comes in and he's like, "Oh, yeah, like I was thirsty," and she's like, "Oh, what the freak?"
Yeah, she's like,
I thought it was locked, and she's like, "Oh no, no, no!" Like,
yeah, the worst thing is that
I'll help
she
you.
says it like, I thought I locked
Yeah.
you. What do you want
Right.
again?
Right.
Like,
Man, just slap her across the face a few times. He feigns ignorance, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I did nothing evil. I'm the villain, but okay." Oh my gosh.
yeah, like
It's
while she's
crazy,
distracting her, you also have the exterminators, and they're like, "Hey, we're just gonna be looking around to,
Oh yeah.
I guess, work on an estimate of like how much it's gonna be and that stuff." So
Yeah.
so they're
that good
taking their
stuff.
free time, which is good.
Yeah.
And she's getting desperate because she's like, no, I like want this
Right.
done now. At the same time, we have Shaw's aunt getting home,
Oh,
and
yes,
she's like,
yes.
"Hey, what are these guys doing here?
Yeah.
Like exterminators? Like we don't need them. Shall I like show them the door and tell them like, no, we're good?
Right,
Oh, no,
right.
no. It's because like and while all of these shenanigans are
Oh,
happening,
yes, yeah.
Arriertty manages to find the jar in which her mom was.
Mhm.
They both see Show, and she kind of says like, "Hey, no, he's good. Let's just get the heck away."
Yeah.
Because they had almost everything ready to leave.
Right.
And during this time, Show it's also like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna, destroy the evidence. Unlike the last time
Ooh,
that
yeah.
I did it. So
Yeah.
she goes
Super
to
great
retrieve
thinking.
the old dollhouse.
Yep.
He pretty much destroys the rest of the house.
Yep.
Puts everything back together. Goes back to the dollhouse.
Yeah.
Puts back the kitchen.
Yep.
And then he goes with the owl and is like,
Yeah.
"Hey, so what's up?"
They come into the room, and yeah, he says nothing. He keeps quiet. So yeah, I like, props to him with all the mistakes he made and like being a super dense guy and well, from the Barrow's perspective anyway, at least, he made up for it by feigning ignorance and covering it up.
Yeah.
Great
and
guy.
Haru's like, "Hey, guess what? I found the little people."
Right, yeah. And she's like, "It's here, it's here. Here's the evidence."
And she sees the jar that it's empty, and she's looking at Show like kind of like, "What did you do, you little piece of crap?"
Thankfully, she didn't like rail on
and
him,
Show is like,
right. Like,
what? Don't look
about?
at me. You were the one who were confining me to my room.
I think that was one thing that I was most confused or like plot hole maybe when they just go into the room without unlocking it and he's apparently in there without having unlocked it either. I think that was probably one inconsistency that I noticed. Unless he went through the other room. He may have done it that way, but then it didn't show Haru unlocking the door, so
yeah,
that's an inconsistency that I definitely noticed.
No, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, and they see everything. It's all right. And
yeah. And the aunt is like,
Haru,
you're
did you really see the little people? Like, yeah, they were here. Please believe me.
Right.
And the aunt is like, "Oh, you're probably really tired. It's fine. The little people are gone.
Yeah.
For all we know, my dad was probably also tired, and
Well, the aunt and
the aunt did believe.
A great moment.
Yeah, the aunt did believe that the little people were real. Yeah. But the thing with them is like they were chill about it. They were like, "Hey,
exactly.
I hope I get to meet them. This human curiosity of knowing that something exists, but not this human selfish desire of want to keep it away from I guess its natural ecosystem."
Yeah,
call it.
yeah, you could. Yeah, exactly.
You know,
like in any way, shape, or form, like hunting it down, trying to find it, trying to prove it, trying to like get rid of it. Yeah, exactly. Like, she like knew they were there and was like peaceful about it. Yeah, incredible, really incredible.
but yeah, they do have a moment and they're like, hey, I hope we get to see them. And he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, me too.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, I didn't see them, but yeah, I
Yeah,
did too.
and
Yeah, it's great.
You know,
Oh, it's
Arriertty and her
great.
family, they made their
Yeah.
way to like an old shack that was still within the premises.
Mm-hmm.
They were just going to spend the night there.
Yep.
Arrietty still is, is kind of curious. She's stepping
Yeah.
out. She finds the cat.
Yeah, the
The
cat.
cat that at the beginning was trying to eat her.
Yep. And now it's like super calm and this is great. The cat goes back and like shows attention. He's like, oh, you want to show me something? He like goes and and this is basically the wrapping up of the movie, because this is where Spiller's gonna show them a new place to live, but it's like the last time they'll be on the property of this house, and Show goes over there and like is like looking around and Arrietty, she's just about to like go into the tea kettle of the on the river. Once again, I love the details of this because like the tea kettle would be their boat to take them down the river.
Yeah, down the little stream.
The stream, yeah, it's a stream, just like a canal, very small. And she realizes that he's there. She goes up the bank and then climbs a little fence and faces him. And this is a great interaction. They talk, and he basically tells her, "Hey, like, my operation is like the day after tomorrow, but I can face it because you gave me the courage to live on." And she gives him her little hairpin thingy.
Yeah. Like he gives him a sugar cube.
Oh yes.
I hope you accepted this time.
Yeah.
He's like, here, it's a good luck charm.
Yes, yeah. She gives
and at the same time we have Spiller getting his
yeah.
bow ready, and he's like,
so
no, it's fine.
Exactly, yeah. He puts down. That was an incredible part.
Which at the same time, like, what is he gonna do, really?
Right, like, yeah, seriously, it's like a freaking needle. Like, if that goes into human, nothing. Maybe it'll hurt, but nothing.
Yeah.
It's like Gulliver's Travels. Pretty silly. But yeah, it's fantastic. She says, "Hey, like, thank you. You protected me." And then they go off in the tea kettle. Spiller and her have a great moment. He like gives her a raspberry. She's on the tea kettle, like looking out into the distance. We pan out, and there's the sunrise, and they're going off into
you know, and all of this is this scenery of these kind of like microscopic things. You know, like enlarged, because like you see these, you know, this koi, the fish.
Ooh, yeah,
they look like freaking like.
Oh yeah, oh yes, that was incredible.
Yeah, and you know, it pretty much wraps up there.
Yep.
On the English adaptation, the Disney one, for the American English dub, there's one last monologue of Show.
Oh, really? Okay.
And he says like, I never saw Arrietty once again. I came back the year after, which implies that, you know, he survived the operation. Definitely. And yeah, he says that he never saw Arrietty again, but that he was glad every time that he heard his neighbors losing things.
Oh, That's really nice.
So that was a nice wrap up because you're like, yeah, you don't want to adapt all the movies. Like, yeah, just just give it kind of like a different, I would say, turn. So like, yeah, because a part of me was kind of worried. I was like, "Whoa!" Like, like did Shaw survive? Or
right?
Like, I guess at the beginning you can say like, "Yeah, he survived," because he's like, "Oh, I remember that time."
Because he's narrating his own story
of the week that I went. It's like, true. Yeah, he survived.
True. But it's good to have the confirmation. Absolutely. Actually, yeah. I did listen to the English adaptation. For the U.S. A little bit here and there, when they were talking about how the borrowers are a doomed species. That's good that they wrapped it up in that way then, because in that adaptation, in that particular part, they were much more focused on like death and doom and you're gonna die, like I'm gonna die.
Yeah,
it's much more
like,
than that.
Is this gonna end? Or like I'm gonna see her and then that was it.
Right.
And now it's like, oh no, the neighbors are still like losing things here and there. And it's like,
that's a great.
They're still here.
That's good. That's good. I like that. Yeah, great way to kind of like bring it to itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Great movie.
It was. I think it was.
I mean, it's Ghibli. I guess we already have this high standard for Ghibli.
Right.
That a lot of times we're like.
Right.
The Ghibli spectrum is just so. Like it stretches out so wide that.
Yes.
That you're like, okay, where is this gonna land?
Exactly. Yeah. It's like it's already really high up there, and then like. Yeah, where's it gonna fit? Yeah, it was incredible. Once again, it is an adaptation of a book story, so it is different than a couple of the other Ghiblis, like My Neighbor Totoro. But yeah, incredible. I really enjoyed it. I've always liked the borrowers and that whole idea of little people inside your house.
I didn't know it was a book, and I was like, wait, it's a book. So like you're telling me that they used to make anime adaptations of good books before, and not light novels.
Right.
Could you imagine? The borrowers of a light novel title is like. That time the little people stole sugar and I spot them and I made them move away from their house. And my mate locked me away. That would
gosh. That would be the light novel title. Adaptation title. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it is kind of rare that happens with an actual like book or novel, I guess, or at least like non.
We've talked about a lot of these.
I guess
a lot of animes that have been adapted from
for sure
from English novels.
That's true. We have touched upon
the one that we talked. Was it last week? No, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
The Boy Who Saw the Wind. The author. He technically was also an Englishman. Half Japanese, half English.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, great anime. Definitely worth a watch. So next time you notice something small missing from your house,
just let it go.
Borrows. Just
let it go.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's sure, like, just like leave, like, oh, I forgot, like, these 5 sugar cubes in here, unguarded, and I'm gonna go to sleep.
Oh, where did I leave those safety pins that I thought I left somewhere in this particular place? Maybe it was over there. Yeah. Oh, great. Fantastic. Love it.
Yeah. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. Mm-hmm. Keep watching anime, and we'll see you next week.
Matane.
Bye.